Today, Ram. Looking forward today to hearing your ideas on procurement and supply management in India. So the challenges and opportunities. And
Well,
my first question is, how is procurement and supply management done in India?
hi Dustin, I'm glad to be talking to you today as well. As I try and answer that question, it is important we understand the evolution of the procurement function as such. There have been four major changes in the strategy and function of procurement as it continually evolves to address the changing internal and external demands. So during the initial days, procurement was purely a clerical function operating like an administrative center. And it then moved on to a cost center with the primary focus being to lower costs. Closer to the 21st century, procurement has morphed into a profit center with emphasis on analytics and total cost of ownership. And in the case of certain mature organizations, procurement has evolved into a shared service provider, contributing to both the top and bottom line. So in my eyes, this is a four-level hierarchy that defines procurement maturity. Administrative center, cost center, profit center, and a shared service provider. And in recent times, the term procurement is also slowly fading away and is being replaced by the more strategic and broader scoped supply management. Coming to India, the procurement function is still quite a ways away from operating as a shared service provider. I would say my best guess would be that they're somewhere between levels 2 and 3, that is somewhere between a cost center and a profit center. Although I do find a lot of companies beginning to invest in technology and focus on improving value rather than concentrating solely on costs. The other major thing is that suppliers are not yet fully viewed as partners, and there are too few collaborative efforts between purchasers and suppliers. The big companies do practice it somewhat, but as you go down the tiers, you will find that there is still a lot of opportunities to improve.
Can you talk about why it's important to understand and who should care?
Well, I think beneath the shiny exterior of corporate India that we all know about, there are a few chinks, that need to be identified and ironed out. While the bigger companies have policies and processes to eliminate inefficiency and unethical practices, they still abound in the smaller companies, which are, as you know, a vital part of the supply chain. This is important to understand for companies that operate in India as well as those that source from India. They should focus on increasing their visibility into the lower tiers of the supply chain, and they should also invest in mechanisms to track and enforce compliance. Given the abundance of low-cost resources, Indian companies have never had to focus on efficiency as a means to add value. But with rising costs and weakening global demand, companies are now forced to take a look at improving productivity in their supply chain and elsewhere. I think small and medium enterprises in Europe and North America should look into tap into the skilled labor market in India, especially since the cost of resources is still very low compared to what you will find in more developed economies. From a procurement and supply management perspective, organizations are moving or have already moved a lot of tactical functions to India. This can be anywhere in analytics, category management, indirect and tail spend management, sourcing support, contract management, you name it. I mean, there's plenty of functions that have been moved. And I see that trend only growing in the coming years. I think the larger organizations have been able to do this successfully, and I sense a great opportunity for the smaller and medium enterprises to replicate this successful proven model and increase shareholder value.
And how can things be improved?
I think Well, I'm going to take this to a macro level. I think at a macro level, over the last decade, India has become a strategic focus for countries and organizations worldwide. Um, there is a huge pool of young and hungry, professionally qualified Indians in the job market. Uh, in fact, more than 65% of the total population of India is under the age of 35, with 50% of that is less than 25. 50% of the total population of India is less than 25. So what that means is that over the next few decades, India will have over 500 million employable people. And this is an important statistic, not only for companies looking to outsource to India, but also for global organizations that are setting up shop in India to cater to the Indian market. I think this means that companies should look at evolving their culture and policies to adapt to a younger demographic as they look to attract and retain talent. In terms of challenges, I think that is the opportunity there. So you're going to have a huge pool of resources available, professionally qualified, for you to employ. In terms of the challenges, infrastructure, corruption, and bureaucracy continue to remain a challenge. However, several positive steps have been taken to address this in the recent past. India now has a government committed to encouraging foreign direct investment and has made several policy changes to make it easier to do business in India. For example, starting in April 2016, India will have a uniform goods and services tax across the country to replace the myriad taxes levied by the state and central governments. This is a significant step in the indirect taxation reform, and it's going to make supply chain management a whole lot easier going forward. The government has also identified infrastructure creation as a central part of its roadmap for economic growth. There are already a multitude of projects underway in building roads, high-speed trains, and expanding ports. Several new power plants have been commissioned to address the burgeoning energy requirements, and an ambitious project to develop about 100 smart cities is also underway. I think the new government in India is really optimistic that it can be a global economic powerhouse, and I see no reason why it can't.
Thanks, and can you provide a brief background of yourself?
Sure, Dustin. I am the founder and principal at B-Cube Global Solutions, based in Chennai, India. So we provide a wide range of solutions in procurement and supply management to companies across the world. You can find us on the web at bcubeglobal.com. That's BCUBE global.com. Prior to founding B-Cube, I was based in the US working for an earth-moving equipment manufacturer in a number of roles in supply management. And thanks to the nature of my roles, I worked with companies across the globe, especially North America and Europe, as well as China and India. I have an MBA. As far as education goes, I have an MBA in global supply management from Purdue University and a bachelor's in computer science and engineering. I'm also a CPSM certified, which is a certified professional in supply management. And I'm a director at ISM India, which is an affiliate of ISM USA. ISM is the oldest and largest supply management institute in the world. So all this helps me, stay in touch with the latest global trends in supply management and practice lifelong learning, which I'm a big proponent of. I'm very passionate about fitness and traveling. I like exploring various cultures around the world, and sports continue to remain a big part of my life. I play amateur cricket over the weekends and follow football and soccer. So,
And thanks again, Ram, for sharing today.
thanks, Dustin. It was a pleasure talking to you.